Hey, everybody, it's me, Jake, from the podcast, Jake and Off. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode. I don't know why I was rhyming there, but today I'm joined by Susanna Lee, fellow comedian, very funny friend of mine. You can check her out on Instagram at Susanna Lee Lucky Deluxe. That is Susanna Lee Lucky Deluxe. And you can check out one of her shows if you're in Kansas City. She does one on the last Wednesday of every month at Big Mood Natural Wines, not Big Naturals, Mood Wine. And every first Friday in the alley behind the Lady Volkos Art Center. So check those out. As always, if you care about me at all, you'll give this podcast a 5-star review on whatever you're listening to it on. And follow us on Instagram at jaken.off.podcast at Gmail. jaken.off.podcast on Instagram. And send anything to jaken.off.podcast at gmail.com. Oh, this intro has been rough. The podcast is great. I love you. Bye. Enjoy it. Bye. You ever do anything like that? You ever
I have
long
family.
Get back?
Yeah.
What's the most vindictive, vengeful thing that you've ever done to anybody?
Shit. Okay, well, when I was in, was it 7th grade or 8th grade? 7th or 8th grade, I made real invitations to someone's party who wasn't having a party.
Oh my God.
I made like a Xeroxed, flyer for this kid's party. I don't remember what he did to me. It was something shitty.
Yeah.
And so I just made like 100 fucking flyers.
And you just gave them out to everybody?
I gave them out to everybody. Not just at school. I went to the mall after school. I got rid of each and every one of those flyers. And then I got in-school suspension.
In-school suspension is the worst. Did anybody show up, or did the kid find out?
I don't know.
Yeah, that
I don't know.
sucks.
I want to say it was so long ago. I'm like 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
So this is back in the day. This is before the internet. I'm 1,000 years old. I'm the oldest person. Am I the oldest person in Kansas City comedy?
Oh. No. There's no way that you are.
I mean, I'm not older than Rod.
Yeah.
Or
no, exactly.
But in the group of
No.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think so.
I'm older.
Teague?
Think I'm older than him.
Yeah.
Am I? Yeah, I'm older than he is. Not by much. Not by much.
No,
we're neck
there's
and neck.
other
We're right
people
up there.
that are older than you guys.
I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure. David Scott.
What? Oh, fuck you, Jake. Come on, man.
No, I don't think that. I honestly, I don't think that it's very important or
no.
distinguishable.
No, yeah, no.
I think that there are people that even if you are older than them by age wise, seem way older than you.
Far more mature.
No, I mean in terms of weathered and haggard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
they've lived hard lives. They've well, we all have.
Yeah.
I'm actually only 23.
Yeah. I'm 12. I'm a rough 12.
I know you are.
I'm a rough 12 years old.
Oh, what hurt you?
Yeah, I don't know. I started rubbing beard oil on my face at the age of 8. It works. Check it out. This podcast is brought to you by some kind of beard oil, probably, at some point, eventually. Beard oil of the future. This is an ad that I'm doing. Speaking of doing vengeful things, though, this actually was a local story. They're looking for this lady still. She shot a guy at
Which
a
one?
hotel.
Oh, yeah.
for not receiving. She didn't get a refund.
Oh, that's right.
She didn't get a refund from the hotel, but then she just shot a random guy. And a kid, too. Yeah, 7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Clipped the kid's elbow. Kid's fine. The guy is in ICU.
Yeah.
But this lady, I don't know. She looks like she would be really annoying. Have you seen this picture?
Yeah, I saw that picture. She
looks
look
like the worst customer that could come into your job.
Absolutely.
Ever. You know what I mean? And it turns out that she is. It turns out that she is the worst customer that'll come to your job because she's going to shoot the customers.
Yeah.
At the place you work.
Wait, he was a customer? I thought he was...
Yeah, he was just a guy.
He was just a guy.
Yeah, he was
in
just
the lobby.
a dude that she beat the shit out of the person that was working at the front desk.
Oh, and he was trying to stop it,
and
right?
And he, like, broke it up, and then she went out to her car and got a gun.
Oh, Jesus.
Samantha Thrasher is her name.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout. If you know a Samantha Thrasher and you listen to this podcast, send me the info, and I'll turn her in. Because we need the reward money. That could be like your Patreon subscription is... you helped me become a bounty hunter.
Have you ever considered being a bounty hunter? I think you might be good at it.
I'd be damn good at it.
I think you would be.
I was just thinking, I was talking with somebody about Dog the Bounty Hunter the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to watch that show a lot. My family watched it too. They like loved that show. It's just, I don't know.
From what I've heard about your family, I'm not surprised. That seems pretty on brand.
Yeah, dude, I used to get freaked out as a kid because, like, my mom was so into, like, murder and stuff. My mom used to drive me around to different places where murders had taken place. Because me and my brother had hockey practice, like, back to back, and so I'd have practice first. Mm-hmm. And then while my brother was at practice, she would drive me around to areas in... KC where people had been like graphically murdered, and she would be like, and right there is where a man murdered his wife and her lover with a piano leg because he like walked in on them cheating, and it turned out that it was actually his nephew that she was like cheating with. And like my mom is like telling me this, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty interesting, Mom. I'm 8. So I've just like I don't know, like stuff like this where somebody gets shot, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's been my whole childhood.
We
used to
that
watch
shit
it on
too.
TV. America's Most Wanted. You ever watch that?
I have, but I was not really into that. I wasn't like into murder TV when I was younger. But the first news story I ever made a point of following was a serial killer. It was the Bob Berdella story. Did your mom tell you about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lived like right
real
over
close.
here.
Yep. Yeah. He was Hyde Park.
Yeah. Pretty brutal murderer.
Oh yeah.
And he had a store in the Westport Flea Market.
Yeah, Bob's Bizarre Bazaar.
Yeah,
and he made chili that people liked a lot.
Yeah, people liked the chili. But
and he was a serial killer with some sort of cannibal, like sprinkling of cannibalism.
He would like he was trying to make sex slaves. And he was injecting stuff into people's brains and shit and like torturing them.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer did that shit too. He was trying to make zombies.
Kind of thing. He buried them in his backyard though. And the reason why that lot sat empty for so long is because they were like, there potentially are human remains here and like da 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 da. Yeah. And now there's like a new house. And I walk by it. And the thing is it doesn't fit in with any of the other houses either. Like, so you can tell, you're like, oh yeah, that one's all new and like updated and like modern looking because that's where a bunch of people got killed.
Yeah, you can build that new house, but the ground is still all fucked up. That's a haunted house. It doesn't matter how fucking new it is.
Yeah.
Wait, am I not supposed to say fuck? I'm okay, right?
No, yeah,
That's
you
okay.
can say fuck.
Okay,
oh, for
right,
sure,
sorry.
100%.
Great.
Yeah, fuck. I say fuck on here all the time.
Good.
Mitchell was on here last week,
so
there's
Mitchell.
There's nothing that you can say on this podcast that will.
Okay, good.
Is gonna like.
All right. I think that if you were a bounty hunter, you would be effective because you have such a sweet nature to you that I think you could just sort of like sit down with the criminals and like talk them into turning themselves in.
Yeah, dude, come on.
And
you don't want to do this forever.
You'd be like, yeah, we'll have like a good drive back. You know, we'll stop and get some lunch, and we'll see some fucking sights of the road. We'll stop at the world's largest ball of twine or whatever. And
we'll have fun.
Yeah,
we'll get maybe we'll
maybe we won't turn
go
you
into a photo booth together and take some candids.
Yes.
just to document the fun day that we had before you.
We'll get high on the way back. I can see you you would be like a bounty hunter with a heart, you know?
Yeah,
you would like
and we need some of those.
You do.
We need more of those.
Everyone.
That's honestly what I think is
don't.
probably the biggest problem with this country is that there's not
just
enough
mean
bounty
hunters.
Yeah, the bounty hunters are too mean.
No, they go by force. Hey, who's that baby?
That's a little baby. His
Hi,
name's
baby.
Gulliver.
Hello,
he's
Gulliver.
Tiny.
You're a teeny baby.
He's
Come here.
tiny
You want to
and
sniff my
sweet.
fingers?
He's not allowed on the podcast
Oh,
though.
what?
Because we don't platform white supremacists. So. No, I'm just kidding. He ain't no white supremacist.
I got
He's
your
a tiny little
Teo.
angel.
Come here. I'm gonna get your Teo.
He's
no?
sweet, dude. He was actually
You're
kind
gonna
of
rub on
fucking
my
like
bag. You're gonna make my
acting
kitty
like
smell
a
you.
psycho
Then I'm
earlier.
gonna have some answers.
We used to have an automatic feeder for him that Ginny recorded her voice on. It has like a voice recording, so like every time it goes off, every time it would go off, it would be Ginny's voice. He'd be like, "Gulliver, come get some meat." And it was really cute. It's really adorable, but it like broke recently. And so we haven't had an automatic feeder anymore, and he's been getting like food less times a day.
Oh no!
And so he's been getting kind of pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's well taken care of. He still gets like a good amount of food every day, but it's not up to his liking. So he's been a little ornery.
You gotta watch out for that.
Ornery. But he usually doesn't come out here.
Cats are smart and they are vengeful. So
dude, don't.
You want to talk about revenge?
Yeah. This dude he's like the sweetest, and usually he's so skittish. He like never is like around people like this.
Oh no, cats love me.
But he
come here.
He's like really affectionate, and he doesn't do anything but like sleep. Like he barely plays with stuff.
Yeah.
He just mostly like lays down. Like the second Ginny gets home, like like anywhere she sits, he's like, "Please, I want to sit on your lap." So
he's
badly.
a baby.
Yeah, he's a sweetie.
Yeah.
He's a sweetie. He's gonna flop over. There he goes.
Oh my goodness! Fall down, went boom. That's my favorite. The fall down, go boom. That's just like my favorite. Oh, did he get up?
Yeah, he got a little embarrassed.
Oh,
he gets embarrassed sometimes.
Oh, that's a baby. A baby gets embarrassed.
Do you ever like attribute? Do you ever sing songs to your cats?
Yes, all the time.
And, like, what's your like go-to song to your cats?
Oh, it changes. I was just taking Boosum to the vet the other day for his baby shot.
Yeah.
And I sang him Him as a Boosie Guy song.
How does that go?
I can't tell you. It's secret.
Yeah.
Like the first verse is just him as a boosie guy, 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 him as a mama's boy, him as a baby boy, him as a boosie guy, him as a mama's boy. And that's the first two verses. And then there's further there's further verses.
I sing one. I go he is a sweetie, sweetie Bo Beatty.
Oh yeah.
And we love him very much.
You have a sweetie Bo Beatty?
Yeah.
I have a Munkus Kapunkus. Peepee Toes is a Munkus Kapunkus.
Oh, that's pretty funny. A Munkus Kapunkus.
A Munkus Kapunkus, because she's a tiny little baby monkey. So she's a monkey kapunky. And then my friend Ryan, their baby Cody is a Ridiculous Kapunkus. So just all members of the Kapunkus family.
Cats are little babies.
They are.
They're all little babies.
I'm trying to socialize the two kittens under the patio now. The last
that
litter.
got born.
Yeah. They were the two survivors of the Easter litter that Mama had.
There you go.
And they are just they're babies. They're babies, but they're hard to get. But they've started taking interest in like food that doesn't come out of their mom.
There you go.
Yeah. So I put some down, and then I just like pluck one up, and I force pets and stuff like that. Force a little hand feeding.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so then, what is the goal? That they'll just be cats that are nice to people.
Well, yeah, and then get them adopted.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sick.
I'd like to find someone that wants to take both, because they're kind of
brother
bonded.
and sister,
Yeah.
brother, sister, and sister.
Do you know what you should do?
What?
Adopt 2 kittens.
No,
Yeah.
no. I don't think that he would do very good with little babies.
Oh, I think he'd do great. He would do great.
Think so.
He'd teach him how to be kittens. He'd teach him how to be cats.
I don't think so. I think he likes being an only cat. He's like...
You only think that because you don't have kittens here.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you seen the pictures of the kittens?
No.
Oh, all right, hold on.
Are you selling me on adopting 2 kittens right now?
Well, I mean, I'm not selling you on it. They will, though.
What are their names?
Well, I take to calling them Orange Boy and Sweetie Pie.
Which one is Orange Boy? Is it the orange one?
It is the Orange Boy.
Oh, they are sweeties.
I know. Hold on, wait. There's bigger. Oh, they get Orange Boy and Sweetie Pie. Hold on.
Sweetie Pie looks like almost like has like an old like an old face, like a sad old face.
Does she? No.
Like
well,
just
that's
like beyond her years,
Yeah, I think that's just the filter. I did. Hold on.
Oh, you're putting filters on there?
Yeah, I'm
so
putting.
So this isn't even what they really look like.
Old baby filters on there.
Oh.
So, here, I want you to look like. There, she looks really young there.
Oh, they are
babies?
Very adorable.
They
are.
Man. They're babies.
Gosh, they're little sweetie
pies. Oh my god! I had just gotten back from Colombia. I hadn't even gone upstairs yet, and they were out, and so I just had to take advantage of the opportunity and
take little pictures
affection.
of them.
Oh no, that was the other day. I'm talking about today.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got some pets in?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I got like holding and scritching time in on both of them.
Oh.
Yep.
They like it now? Are they getting to the not yet?
They like the meat tubes, the little squeezy meat tubes.
Yeah.
It's like Go-Gurt, but it's like chicken
for
puree.
cats.
Yeah. They like those.
Yeah.
They're liking food, so
nice.
I'm just using that to force affection, and then maybe eventually they'll like affection, or they'll just
associate it with food.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah, whatever gets them to
an indoor home.
An indoor home.
Yep.
So we were talking about me being a bounty hunter, which I think is a great idea, and I do think that I would be good at it, because I think I could say, hey, bud, you got to pay for your car or whatever it is that bounty hunters do. I feel like that's kind of part of the job, right?
That's they repo, do like
repo.
Man.
Do they do both though?
I don't know that. I don't really know. I don't know any bounty hunters, and I don't know any repo people. But I mean, I feel like it's in the same sort of vein, but
Repo Man seems worse to me somehow.
Oh yeah.
Seems like a shittier thing to do.
It's an ass. Well,
but
I
also
mean,
bounty hunting, you are arresting somebody. So they actually both are shitty things.
Are you arresting him, or are you just bringing him in?
You're taking him
so
to jail. Yeah, you're taking him in. You're
fully
getting
catching criminals.
Yeah, I don't want to do that actually.
No,
it sounds scary.
Yeah, it's probably real scary.
They always had guns in Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah. They always had like
the
AR-15s and shit. No, the bounty hunters.
Bounty hunters?
Yeah, they were pointing them at people all the time.
Yeah.
And that guy's got like a big mullet and stuff. He's just kind of a weird looking dude.
Yeah.
But anyways.
That's a definite flavor right there.
Oh, him? Dog the Bounty Hunter? Yeah, like Hulk Hogan knockoff kind of shit. Some people think he's hot.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely.
I don't think. No.
Yeah, like there's like some people in like Kentucky or something that are like,
a lot of people have fetishes, so
yeah, it looks like he has like the haircut of like a office administrator.
There's someone that wants to fuck everyone.
Isn't that crazy?
Not like one person that just wants to fuck everyone. I mean, like for every type of person, everything that anyone might look like, there's someone that wants to fuck that, or any like whatever profession you're in, whoever you are, whatever your specifics are, there's someone in the world that wants to fuck that.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I've been thinking about, sort of in the same vein a lot, is like how being a fatter guy is like way easier than being a fatter lady, probably.
Yeah.
Because at least in at least in society, we've carved out like a way for fat dudes to exist. Like, even on like TV or whatever, they're like, look at how there's always a dumb fat guy around or something like that. But like,
and he's always got like a tiny cute wife.
Exactly.
Who's usually like mean.
Yeah, it's like, it's a very common trope, but that doesn't exist for women. There's no like big lady trope, like dumb big lady or like anything. They're like, no, big women don't exist.
Nope.
It's insane. I don't know. I've never really had thought about that until the other day.
Really?
I was like, oh shit, dude. Yeah.
Oh, it must be nice to not have that on your fucking like mental radar every minute of every day of your whole life. That must be
pretty lucky.
Kind of cool.
Pretty lucky over here.
What do you do with your time if you're not obsessing about how you're failing to
I do not use it how a lot of people would think I should. I do not use it in a way that many people think is productive. There's not a lot of like mental strain for me having to think about, the societal pressure on me to be a specific way.
Yeah.
Doesn't really exist. So,
I can't even imagine. Sometimes I try to think about like where I'd be in life if circumstances, like if mental, emotional, all that kind of circumstances were different, and if like any of the like fucked up shit that stuck with me hadn't happened, like where would I be? And then I'll spend a couple minutes going down that rabbit hole, like being like, okay, so if this never happened, then would I have continued to do that? Where would I be then? And usually I get this like picture of an ideal life, or what I think is an ideal life, which is usually just like financially secure. Maybe there's like some sort of a family. Even though I've never wanted to physically have kids, I've never wanted to like grow them in me and push them out of my body or anything, or even have them cut out of my body. It sounds just terrible. But in my head, it's always this like, there's like a family. I'm not scared of like dying alone. Like there's going to be someone that's going to, sort of feel obligated to take care of me when I start wandering. And like, and then, so I'll spend a couple minutes ruminating on that. And then I'm like, well, guess I'll smoke a joint.
That is, I mean, like I do similar things. I feel like probably the like, emotional stuff that I'm thinking of is like different, of course, but like I will say that it is pretty easy to acknowledge like the vast difference in like my life than the life of like my peers who are not straight white men. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's not like I can't change who I am, but like this shit is tougher. I mean, there's not a lot of people can just start a podcast. It kind of seems like you have to be a straight white guy to be able to.
I think that's one of the prerequisites.
I don't know. Do you have like a lot of anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I feel like I have almost like the opposite, where I just can emotionally
have too much calm.
Yeah, I can emotionally I can like repress all of the like things that feel overwhelming to me too well, to the point where I'm like, my problems don't even exist.
Is that dissociation, or is that just,
I don't know.
It's just denial?
What is dissociation?
Dissociation is where I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like
it's not denial, because I'm just forgetting about it. I'm just intentionally forgetting.
Dissociation, I feel, is more like I can't think of like a.
It's like an involuntary sort of like removal.
It's
of yourself.
It's where your brain's like, you know what, this
Defense
feels real
mechanism.
fucked up, so let's go somewhere else inside here.
Yeah.
Hey body, you can continue to go through this like super crazy situation that feels very unsafe. You're gonna have to be here, but consciousness, we're gonna be over here doing something else.
Yeah, nothing like that. I feel like none of it's that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like financial positions that I put myself in.
Oh,
or like shit like that. You know what I mean? like poor decisions that I've made in the past.
Yeah.
Like most of it is just all stuff that I've done to myself. So it's not like anything like that traumatic necessarily. It's just all just a problem that I've created for myself. That's what stresses me out. But since they're so minor, I can just kind of like whatever.
Well, maybe that's not repressing, and maybe that's just like being able to let go of the shit that is really not gonna, like stuff that you can't immediately change. Like you take, you know what it is, you know the problem exists, so you know that like subconsciously maybe the knowledge of it will subconsciously lead you to making better choices. I mean, I don't know. That maybe that's theoretic. I'm not sure.
That could be it. What does anxiety feel like to you? Like when do you get it the most?
When do I not?
Okay, fair enough.
I've had anxiety for so long that I don't know necessarily what it feels like to not have any.
Yeah.
But if I'm like super, super anxious, it feels like there's a lot of electricity inside my body.
Okay.
Everything feels
like
very
butterflies kind of, but like worse though. Like, yeah. Because butterflies I kind of associate with like, oh, I'm like excited, but
anxiety's like if the butterflies
like
were angry bees.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're just like, and they're stinging constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know.
Is it anything
this
like...
is starting to feel like therapy, like, and I feel like any second you're gonna be like, I don't know.
When I was a kid, I bit my brother, and this is like I feel like this is the most anxiety about anything that I've ever felt in my life. This is like one of my earliest memories too. I bit my brother, and like my mom called my dad at work and was like, Jake bit Sam. And so he was like, well, then tell Jake that when I get home from work tonight that I'm gonna bite him like as
an eye for an eye.
Yeah. And so I remember like being just like in absolute like dread the entire day. Like I felt like I couldn't do anything. I like did feel like in my like body I was like, God, like I fucking like feel like like I'm paralyzed out of fear, you know?
Like something wants to, like your body wants to jump out of itself.
Yeah, because my dad's coming to bite me.
Yeah.
And so...
Tell my young, impressionable son that I'm going to bite off his fucking finger when I get home.
Yep.
I'm literally going to chew and swallow it. He will not have a finger.
Yeah.
We will not be taking him to the emergency room. He's just going to bleed out.
That's funny. My dad used to do shit like that. Like not that like, but he would say stuff to me. I had a really big fear of needles when I was a kid. And anytime I would go to the doctor and my dad would be like taking me to the doctor, he would tell me, he's like, you're never going to believe like how big the needle they have to stick you with is.
What?
Here. Like he's like 4 nurses have to carry this needle on their shoulders.
Jesus.
Like that's how big it is that they have to like give you a shot with. And I had a heart condition when I was like 8 that required I had to go stay in the hospital and like get surgery and stuff. And like even on the way down to get this heart surgery, like they're wheeling me in, it's the surgeons and stuff. My dad is with me and he's like, seriously, he's like, the needle that's waiting for you down there is like so giant and like da-da-da. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, like Jesus,
that's
like,
terrible.
Oh, you know,
that's horrible.
And so I don't know, that those things made me have anxiety.
Yeah,
for sure.
I bet. Poor Jake.
Pretty cool. My dad to this day will be, I mean, it's a funny bit.
It's funny, yeah.
He was like, to this day, he's like, yeah, I actually saved his life. He's like, I actually saved your life.
Oh my
That's
God.
what he says. He didn't, I don't think. I don't know for sure.
I mean, you'd have to go like a few steps removed to see, you know, that's like that 6 degrees of separation type thing. Like, I saved his life. How exactly? Well, I made him afraid of needles. If he wasn't afraid of needles, he'd probably be dead of a heroin overdose by now.
It's true.
So I saved his life.
So his theory is that because the problem with my heart was like an electrical issue where I had a node that would make it beat really fast. Like I would be sitting in class at school in the 3rd grade, and I would get like my heart rate would go up to like 200 beats a minute while I was just like sitting there. And so, but they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me for like months because it wasn't happening all the time. It would just happen at random. And so they didn't know that it was an electrical issue, but my dad was like, well, like, but I scared him. Like I freaked him out, and it like made it easier to find the thing that was up with it. It was, you know.
I scared him and the problem happened. Now the problem only happened every time I scared him. So I saved his life by scaring him into having this problem so that the doctors could find it and fix it. Now the problem didn't exist unless I scared him. So I scared. Why are you failing to see how I helped my son?
Yeah. Okay.
I created a problem so that doctors could fix him, so that he respected the work of doctors.
I've been taking his word for it most of my life, but you're starting to like point out some holes in his theory to me that maybe make me think that he didn't actually save my life.
No, I'm sure he did, probably somehow. I'm not here to make you hate your father.
I got him back. Him back though by the end of the stay in the hospital because he had stayed with me for like 4 days in the hospital. So like it was me and my dad hanging out, and I'm 8 and we're in a children's hospital, so it's like all of the stupidest shit that you have to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, we're going to like arts and crafts with like a bunch of sick kids,
really,
and stuff. Like I'm sure it was like an incredibly depressing like few days for my dad. And like probably like a huge bummer and like really annoying. Like, you know, you're
from what you told me of your dad, I think he deserves a couple days of
exactly,
sadness, a couple days of, you know,
he stayed with me the whole time.
Sobering reality.
And then I'm out of surgery. Everything went good. I'm like laying, recovering or whatever. And I like wake up and shit. And I like turn to my mom and I'm like, Mom, like, thank you for everything that you've done for me over the last few days. And he's like, what the fuck, man? It's like, I'm right here.
Oh my God.
So that kind of stuck it to him a little bit. And, you know, my parents ended up divorcing not too long after that.
All
not because of that. Yeah, all because
of you. Sometimes parents tell their kids, we're splitting up. It has nothing to do with you. We both love you. This time, they're just like, we're splitting up, Jake. It is definitely your fault.
Yeah, it's Jake's fault.
Neither of us actually love you anymore. You fucked up our relationship. So, I mean, we're obligated to take care of you till you're close enough to 18, you know, but.
My brother was like a troublemaker in school and stuff. And he like
I was
always
the bad
like,
kid.
Really?
Yeah, between me and my sister, it's just the two of us. I was the bad kid. What'd you do? Oh, what did I do? I did so much. Snuck out. The thing is, like, my parents provided very little discipline when I was old enough to do bad shit that could really get me hurt or like actually alter my life. When I was a little kid, my parents were they were spankers and yellers. Yeah. But then when I got old enough to, like I said, to actually like do some shit that could have a fucking effect, that's when the discipline stopped. I never ever had a curfew.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. One time my friends and I did this. We did the thing kids do it where it's like, I'm going to spend the night at Kara's house. Kara says, I'm going to spend the night at Jenny's house. Jenny says, I'm going to spend the night at whatever the other girl, I can't remember the other girls, Megan's house. And we did that. Now, here's the thing. Usually we just all spent the night at Kara's. And what we'd always do is go down to Loose Park because this is like, that's where that's where like the punk kids hung out all night long. Yeah. So we'd go down there, and Kara's parents, like, I don't know if they didn't care or I don't know what, they just were always in the living room watching TV, never talking to each other, just like sitting there watching TV. It was very suburban, you know. Like,
are they even real?
Yeah. So it didn't really matter, but for some reason, this one time we all did that stupid fucking thing. That the more complicated your lie, the easier it is to get caught, and the more likely it is that, you know, that you build a fancy house of cards, it's going to come crumbling down. Stick with a lie that works. We're all spending the night at Kara's. Yeah. Her parents don't give a shit. Yeah. So then we'd go down to Loose Park all night. Anyway, so this time we go down to Loose Park, and I don't know what happened, but somehow my parents found out. And it's not that we were down there. They didn't want us going down there. And there's very good reason. Like, people did get mugged. And, you know, I mean, like, it was not exactly safe.
Yeah. Different than the loose park of today's Kansas City.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happens at night. But it was, you know, it was loose park. And then it was like hanging out on the art gallery steps. And then it was going and exploring Brush Creek. Because at the time, it was before they did the remodel. So there was like no water in it. Yeah. And then it was going to Chubby's, which was R.I.P. Yeah, it wasn't in the standalone building. It was at the end cap where IFO is.
Oh, okay. That actually probably was better, more convenient.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I don't know.
Not important. Chubby's was gross.
Chubby's, it's always gross. It doesn't matter where it is. It was always gross. So I don't know what happened. I don't know how. But anyway, my parents found out that I had lied, and we had this big fucking ruse.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my dad is at Loose Park looking for me, and how embarrassing, you know. So I laid on the floorboard of someone's car. Yeah.
Oh no.
And hid from him. And then after he left, we went about our night. We went to the art gallery, and then we went to Chubby's, and he left a message for me at Chubby's.
Wow.
If she comes in, tell her to call home. Something's happened with her mom. Yeah. And this is like right around the time my mom got diagnosed with lupus. So it was like, oh shit. So that's a dirty fucking pool. That's a dirty pool. Don't say that. Nothing had happened with my mom. But of course that got me to call home. And then it was like, where you at? And it's like, oh, you know where I am.
Dang, dude.
So that was like the most discipline I ever received was for that. And I got grounded. Okay, Kara got grounded until she went to a private school. She go to Scion or something. She went to some fancy girls' school, and they were taking this like overseas trip. And she got grounded until that trip, and it was like a few weeks, and it was like harsh grounding. It was like no phone, no going out, no shit, no friends over.
Yeah.
I got grounded until the Grateful Dead concert like 3 days later. And my grounding was, you can't go out at night, but you can have friends over. Going out during the day is fine. You can have people over. You do whatever. Just don't go out at night. No having fun away from the house at night. But again, if you want to have friends over, that's fine.
Wow.
And you can still go to that concert where you're going to do a bunch of acid, and we know that, but that's fine. But you're grounded, so I didn't have much discipline. Just wasn't like, it wasn't really
I definitely didn't have like much discipline after my parents got divorced. And I had less supervision. So like once that happened,
how old were you?
I was 11, and it was kind of like the same thing. And like I wasn't as bad as my brother was, and so it's just was like easy to. But my parents caught me smoking weed and stuff like that, and that was like a huge no-no in our house because they were both law enforcement. Like previous law enforcement.
Right.
And so they were like, dude, and like my mom like had a fucking meltdown. You know what I mean? She
About
was
weed?
like, yeah. She was really upset. I used to hide my bong. I had a bong, and I hid it in our Christmas tree bag because we had like a reusable Christmas tree. And I was like, dude, this is a fucking perfect place. Like nobody gets in here except for like one time a year. You know what I'm saying? And like my mom can't even carry this up the stairs by herself, you know, because she has like bad hips and shit. And so I like will know when the day is coming that I got to take the bong out of the Christmas tree bag and move it somewhere else. So
That's
I like thought it was a great hiding place.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
My brother ratted me out.
Oh, your fucking brother.
I know, dude.
My sister once ratted me out for selling drugs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
I think I was 16. That was the second physical fight we ever got in.
You and your sister?
Yeah.
So that was about her ratting you out.
Yeah.
Who won?
hard to say because my parents pulled us apart. I think, okay.
How old is your sister?
She's 3 years older than me.
Okay, gotcha. So your older sister ratted you out? My brother's older than me too.
Well, my sister, it was like a
siblings?
family meet. It was like family meeting. It was the four of us, my mom, dad, me, and my sister. And they were bitching at her about something. And so
it's always how it happens.
Right.
Is they're in trouble for something and they deflect.
They're like, well, Susanna's selling drugs. She's selling acid. And so then, like, you know, then I think I probably said something like, fuck you. And then she jumped at me, and then we were tussling, and my parents pulled us apart very quickly. And I was wearing combat boots.
Yeah.
Steel-toed combat boots that I got at the military surplus store, because that was like...
Yeah. And you're selling drugs,
vibe.
too.
Yeah.
It's like, gotta protect yourself in the street.
A typical American teenager.
Yeah.
And I pulled my foot back, and it was like I had this perfect shot at my sister's face. And I was like, I'm going to kick her fucking face in. And I fucking let my foot go. And they like her and my dad were, you know, he was holding her back. And so it was kind of like tussly. And they shifted, and I kicked him in the face.
Oh.
Hard.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Was it the kick that you like thought it was gonna be? Like, did it do the kind of like?
Oh, yes.
Was he bleeding? Like
it broke his nose.
Oh, dang.
But it was not. It didn't. It wasn't like. It didn't bleed. It wasn't like dramatic like a movie. It was just the only reason I knew it broke his nose is because he told me like I think a day later or something. I don't know. I mean, it all blew over. It all blows over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All the like
100%
fucked up fights.
I've never gotten a physical. Well, I've gotten in physical fights with my brother. He's the only person, actually the only people in my entire life that I've ever gotten in physical altercations with have been my family.
Yeah, same.
I've never been even close to getting in another fight.
Well,
the only person who's hit me in the face as an adult is my mom.
My sister. That was just my sister's. My sister's the only person I've gotten. Okay. My sister's the only person I've gotten physical fights with.
Yeah.
But I've had to get physical when I was a sex worker. I had to get physical a couple times to defend myself.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a different vibe.
Yeah, you know? Like self-preservation kind of is like different than trying to like kick your sister's
sibling
face
anger,
in for ratting you out. I feel like the sibling anger could even be potentially a bit stronger than like self-preservation.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I fucking like would get
anger
so
versus
mad
fear?
at my brother. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got in a couple of physical altercations with like my dad a few times. Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole like, I can kick my dad's ass, like kind of thing. But like, you know, the truth is that you can't. Like my dad is like, you know, he's a bit of a badass in like that regard specifically. And so it's like one of those things where it never went the way that my brother thought it was going to go.
No.
He like always would end up like getting the best of my brother, and like not in like a bad way. Like he would do this thing where my brother like ran at him one time, and he would just take his thumb and he stuck it in between his ribs.
Oh god!
And you just like pull, like you just like use a little pressure, and it pulls your ribs apart a little bit. And it like, you know, obviously like whoever you do that to, like even if it's your 16-year-old son who's like running, like they're gonna go down.
Yeah. And
he did, and then he just like laid on top of him and sort of kept like just patting him on the head a little bit and being like, stop it, like you need to stop, kind of stuff. You know, isn't
it weird how like like one like finger in the throat or a thumb between the ribs or something, just like the littlest thing can just like render you absolutely useless.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had the thing where like somebody takes your thumb and like pushes it back in on itself? It's like
push
a really
it down
bad,
or push it
like,
back.
They take it like if you take somebody's thumb like a trigger in your hand like this, and like basically like pull it like a trigger kind of.
Ooh.
It like pushes their thumb back into there. It hurts really bad.
No, I had a customer at the bar I used to work at one time. He showed me this like weird pressure point.
Yeah.
Between the thumb and the first finger. It's like a weird pressure point where if you hit it just right, like a full-grown man will just crumble.
Yeah.
And so he let me practice on him.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Did you get it down?
One time.
Nice. Did it feel good?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was the guy that interrupted open mics before.
Oh.
Elvis.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The Croatian sensation. He gave me a koozie once that has his picture on it, and it's the Croatian sensation. It says it on there.
Just like a popular enough drinker at bars that he has his own koozie.
Popular, infamous,
infamous
notorious.
Drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, infamous drunk. He's like a fucking folk legend.
Really?
You know, that's what he is. Yeah. Like one time he was banned at one bar in Strawberry Hill for doing cocaine on the bar. Just you know.
That'll get you banned.
Yeah. And then another place he's banned because I can't. Okay, so I've heard the story two ways. I've heard that he shot a gun inside, and then I've heard that the friend he brought with him shot the gun inside. I don't.
Way.
Yeah, either way. Like if you know,
this guy's connected to some gunfire.
Yeah, and it was like a small bar.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what else, but he, you know, and also when I was at that bar the bar I was at, he's the only person I ever had to pull the baseball bat out for.
Oh shit!
I had to like walk him out.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd he do?
I don't even remember.
He was just
being like off the. Yeah.
I remember one time on Christmas Eve, me and some other comics came to a bar in Strawberry Hill that you were working at.
Oh, God.
And somebody shit in the urinal.
Okay, so that's the bar where he or his friend shot the gun.
Okay, yeah, that's a really small bar.
It is.
Yeah,
and I think
there's
they
like,
shot up.
Yeah,
and
which
that's a
there's
low
like,
ceiling bar.
Yeah, and people like live above there. Like
yeah.
Something like there's shit above those places.
Yeah.
And somebody shit in the urinal in there. It was fucking
that dude
gross.
Shit.
Dude.
Oh my God, that dude shit everywhere.
That's what I was
the
heard.
bathroom with his shit.
Yeah.
And then he came out and got it on a bar stool, and he got it on the fucking handle to the bar, like the door to the bar.
Ugh.
Like, oh, that guy. And
it was disgusting.
Yeah, that dude
smelled
fucked
so bad.
I know. Oh my God.
On Christmas Eve.
Yes.
It was fucking horrific. It was like
Christmas Eve?
It was so abrupt too. Like I remember because had been there hanging out.
Yeah.
Because I had gone there with it was me and some other comedians and like my cousin. A couple of my cousins were even there at one point. Oh. And then it was just like all like we were like I guess we all have to leave. So like it just smelled like shit everywhere.
Yeah, because there was shit
everywhere. It was disgusting. And that guy's done that at other bars. Yeah,
he has. And that guy called the cops on me one time. First off, he can barely talk.
At
403.
Yes.
Yeah. He called he ordered a beer and couldn't pay for it. And so I was like in this, like I was feeling gracious. And I was like, well, Mike, just go home and get money for it and come back and I'll hold your beer. I was trying to be nice and I was like holding on to his beer and I did. Yeah. I held on to his beer and he left and he came back after a while, paid for the beer, drank it, no big deal. Yeah. All right. Then later on that evening, the cops come in, 2 cops come in and come up to me and they're like, Mike, you know, whatever his last name is, called in a complaint and said that you pulled his hair and this and that. And I'm like, I wouldn't touch him in anger or glee. Like there's nothing would make me touch him.
Yeah, the shit guy.
Yeah, like there's at no point would I ever touch him. I wouldn't touch him to hurt him or to save his life. I would not touch him.
Yeah.
I don't care what the situation is. Like
I wouldn't beat his ass or wipe it.
No, well, just that guy.
What did they do? They had to have just been like, oh.
I was like, we have cameras everywhere. So, and they were like, well, can we see the footage? I'm like, I can't show it to you. My boss can. They're like, well, you might want to text him. I'm like, really?
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah. So I had to text my boss and be like, listen, the cops are here and I had to explain the situation. And then they didn't they didn't actually look at the footage. They just like, because I think another bar patron was like, I've been here the whole time. This is what happened.
Yeah, and they're like, by the way, that guy has shit all over him.
Yeah. Well, I guess like he'd called the cops before and said some shit happened that didn't actually happen. So that was what got him banned from the bar.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
This guy keeps calling in. He's like doing bomb threats wrong. Like he's like trying to like get like all this like cop pressure on these bars that he feels are wronged him, but he's like, yeah, I went into this place and this lady pulled my hair. Yeah. It's just not having the effect. He's like, why would they do anything to these places?
Why doesn't anyone care?
No, one of the stories I had pulled for today is about cops, actually.
Oh, yeah?
In NYPD, yeah. So this dude is suing NYPD. This former traffic cop is suing them because of these...
I love when former cops sue the cops.
So this is actually like a really interesting one because this dude was a traffic cop, you know, like and he basically got frustrated because all of these NYPD officers get these cards that they give out to their friends and family that are like,
oh, they get out of jail
free cards. Like you don't have to like if you show this to another cop, they're supposed to like not give you a ticket or whatever. And this guy is like was like, this sucks. Like everybody I fucking pull over has one of these fucking things. And they are hugely shitty about it. And he basically got reprimanded, allegedly. He got reprimanded for giving somebody, and he didn't even give them the full ticket. They ran a red light and were speeding. And he just gave them the speeding ticket, but this was like a lady who had a get out of jail free card from the like chief of the entire like police force or something. And so now he's suing the shit out of them.
Good.
But it's fucking crazy. I can't believe that exists. Like, and so how it works, I guess, is the police unions, which in my opinion shouldn't exist. Like police officers should not be allowed to have unions. But either way, the police unions are who issues these cards to like the cops and their friends and family. Yeah. Police unions are like some of the most corrupt, like, of course, unions that exist, but like also just functionally are like terrible. But this guy, I guess, super Italian name, Bianchi. Super Italian. He ended up like just being like, fuck these people, and wrote a bunch of tickets to like these guys, and they kept being like, if you keep doing this, we're gonna like fuck you up, like we're gonna fire you. And he just kept doing it. You know, I bet he only did the people who are assholes. You know? Yeah, maybe. You're probably right. Fuck those motherfuckers. Yeah. I would do that. Like, it's always the people who are entitled. Yeah. It's always people who are entitled, because if you had one of those cards and you were a nice person and you were like, oh shit, I'm sorry, here, this is my card, I didn't see that sign back there, I'm sorry, I was speeding, oh, here's my card. I'm sure that dude would be like, yeah, okay, well, you know, fucking watch your shit. Right. But like, I'm sure if they're like, I have a card that's like the same as a person that comes in somewhere and it's like, I know the owner. Fuck you. It is literally a card that is like, don't you know who my dad is? Isn't that fucking insane that exists? Like, that's the part of the story that to me was wild. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, these people are giving them not even to like just their family or whatever. It's like the guy who mows their lawn or something. It's like, what the fuck, someone they want to impress it. Yeah. Like some lady they're trying to fuck or whatever, probably. Some lady that they're trying to have an affair with. Yeah. Would be my guess. Yeah. You know, I couldn't believe it though. But yeah, I hate that I'm on this dude's side, but he seems to have a pretty good case. I think that they should probably not have special cards that get you out of trouble. Yeah. But if they do, I want one. If they are going to exist, I would like one. Yeah. Those are my demands. Either get rid of them or give me one. We all have the privilege, or none of us have the privilege. Yeah, and not even we all, just as long as I do. Just as long as I don't need it to be fully fair. I just need to be part of the elite. The sort of last thing that I have to touch on here is that Ron DeSantis, I was going to talk about it last week, but we ended up not getting to it. Ron DeSantis he's in the fucking race now for president, who I like, obviously, like, I don't want either him or Donald Trump to be president, like, out of, like, all the people. But I honestly think that he is potentially, like, worse than Donald Trump. Just for the fact that, like, I think that he is a true believer of, like, all of this shit. And I think that Donald Trump is, like, more in it for, like, the self-serving, like, sort of power aspect. Whereas in this dude, I think he legitimately, I mean, he allegedly tortured people at Guantanamo Bay, like that level of like psychopath, you know?
Yeah.
And he fucking scares the shit out of me. Eating pudding with his fingers. And
what?
Fucking, yeah. He like, the
he
thing
eats
is.
Pudding with his fingers?
Yeah, he's not going to win. He doesn't have the
monster.
Juice. This is the whole thing too, is like, it's turning out that he doesn't have the juice to beat Donald Trump anyways. Like, he probably shouldn't have entered the race because he's looks really stupid. But like, one of the things that came out about him was that like on this plane trip there were like some donors and shit like that he was eating pudding on like this private jet with his fingers just like in front of everybody, and everybody's like, this guy can't be president.
That's
like,
just weird.
The president can't eat pudding with his fingers.
I feel so. Ron DeSantis is the reason that I've started like believing more in alien conspiracies. Yeah. Because I can't believe, like,
he seems like a fucking reptile ass motherfucker.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we have all these politicians who are deplorable human beings. Yeah. I mean, they're taking away people's rights. It's like they don't. How can you not care about people? You know, one of the there's a quote, and I'm not even gonna try and say it right, but basically is it paraphrase? Yeah, paraphrase. It's like, you know, the measure of a fucking advanced society is, there's something about like how well you take care of the like populations, the worst off. Right? The populations that can't take care of themselves. Yeah. You know how well we
pretty bad.
Yeah,
pretty bad in America.
Yeah,
not going too good.
Yeah, and
on that front,
these people that like isn't even. I don't understand. There's the level to which I do not understand how politicians cannot care about human rights and about humans over money and over like fucking policy that doesn't help people live more comfortably. It doesn't help people pursue happiness or joy or any sort of like light. I don't fucking get it. And so that's why I started thinking about, like, you know, they say aliens have been here. There's no reason to not believe in aliens. There's no reason to not. But beyond like huge like hubris ego. There's no reason to not believe in aliens. Yeah. So what if alien populations are trying to test us and see what does it take to get people to revolt? What does it take? Like, how far can we push humans before they fucking stand up and go, oh, no, that's a step too far. You know? Yeah. Like, because otherwise, like, how the fuck are you going to take away the rights? How do you take away so many human rights and we don't do anything about it because we can't do anything about it because we're so scared of people in power, and there's no way to fight people in power because we can't fight because we're just the people. Sure, there's more of us than there are of them, but we are so divided among ourselves that we're not going to unite even to fight for ourselves, because amongst ourselves we hate each other so much that it's like, well, I can't fight for your rights because I fucking hate you, so who cares if they take away mine? Yeah. Because you won't fight for me either. So we've become so divided that we can't even fucking unite against, you know, the aliens who are just testing us. Yes. To see like, okay, well, what if, so what I'm saying is like Ron DeSantis, Trump, like all these just horrendous humans that do not give a fuck about people, that actively working against people. Yeah. What if they're just not real? What if it's just a test? Because I can't imagine it being real. I can't imagine, like, I can't imagine
just like not giving a shit that much.
Not giving a shit so much, and being given ample opportunity to connect with people and to understand people better and to like become more tolerant, become more open-minded, and to become this like just a better fucking human being, to become an agent of humanity surviving, continuing, progressing.
Yeah.
But you want to focus on hate, you want to focus on ban this and ban that, and these people can't exist. Well, these people fucking exist.
Yeah.
You can't take away their existence by making all these laws. All you can do is just make us miserable. Yes. All you can do is make things dangerous. All you can do, but it doesn't stop this person from existing.
Yeah, they still are there. And I think that like that is really like the most tragic part to me is like, because I feel like in the case of like Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump or like these politicians that end up amassing this amount of power is like in using it to oppress people is sort of like that's just standard fare for the history of like the entire world, but like what is so frustrating and tragic to me about it is like that there are legitimately people, just normal, regular, everyday people just trying to get by and trying to survive, that are willing to do those kinds of things to other people out of this like some sort of perception that like that's what's stopping them from becoming, like wealthier or like having a more comfortable life or something like that. And the tragic thing about it is like that's just completely fake and like not real. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like so many of these people have been convinced that like, using somebody's correct pronouns or something is that
puts us all in danger.
Yeah, like is somehow the like most like dangerous thing happening today. But it's just it's
creating harmony is not dangerous. Creating harmony or supporting harmony and behaving in a way that brings a little more harmony into the world.
Even just even just beyond that, just being
fucking
polite,
respectful.
Yeah, just being simply polite and respectful to other people is like, it's almost completely like eroded. And that part I think is like really, really sad and pathetic. And I think that Ron DeSantis is a particularly good representation of like this sort of like
fucking
apathetic, like and like just this sort of new breed of like Republican politician where it's like this guy's whole shtick is that he fucking hates people. Yeah. Like he hates trans people, he hates gay people, he hates women, like that's his whole thing, and he's targeting them with laws. And I think that that's what makes him scarier than Donald Trump is I think he actually has some like semblance of understanding of like how legislating works to a degree, and like can actually like pull the levers that are necessary to like make that kind of stuff happen. I think the lucky thing is that he clearly does not have like the soft skills to even come close to like winning a Republican primary, which is like kind of good. It's not, none of it's good no matter what, because like the other option is still Donald Trump, which fucking sucks huge ass.
I can't fucking believe he's even still eligible. Yeah. I cannot believe, but I couldn't believe that the Republican Party didn't drop him when that thing came out about him saying to grab women by the pussy. Yeah. Like that was,
it seemed like a pretty,
I legit said to a friend like, oh, they're going to drop him as a candidate. Who are they going to, and it was like, they didn't? Yeah. Really? Yeah. And it was like, these people can do the most horrendous things to other people, and you won't drop them. You'll just continue to support them.
Yeah. The stuff that has come out about Ron DeSantis recently too is like pretty horrific in its own right. Like he allegedly, and you can find this on, there's a podcast called Eyes Left that this guy Mike Preisner does, and he interviewed a dude who had been arrested and imprisoned at Guantanamo Bay during the Bush administration when Ron DeSantis was a JAG lawyer there. And the whole deal is that his post as a JAG officer at Guantanamo Bay was that he was supposed to be there making sure that the prisoners were being treated humanely.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And so he showed up, and this guy he wrote a book about it and stuff, but the dude who was detained there said that he showed up, Ron DeSantis showed up and talked to all of them and was like, what's the worst stuff that happens to you here? Da-da-da-da-da, because they were on hunger strike at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then once he talked to all of them, the stuff that they said was so awful and terrible, like, ramped up like 10 times worse. Like, all of it got worse. And he would be there sometimes when they were torturing them and, like, force feeding them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that he would be, like, laughing and things like that. So he legitimately, and I'm sure that Donald Trump, to a certain extent, is like this as well. But, like, it legitimately seems that if the stuff that this dude is saying is even close to true, that, like, this guy loves that shit. Like, he not only is he, like, not thinking about, like, hurting people, but,
he
like,
wants
he
to
gets,
hurt people.
yeah, he actually, like, enjoys, like, inflicting, which to me is, like, really...
He's the dude in The Princess Bride that, like, has the torture chamber underground and is like, we're gonna try this device on you.
Yeah, like, pretty much.
Just
like a real life
horrible.
version of that, but he ain't gonna win, dude. He can't. He does not have. He's even pudding with his fingers.
I hope not.
His launch went really bad too. He did it on Twitter with Elon Musk. Him and Elon Musk did like an announcement on Twitter, but it was like riddled with problems, like technical issues and shit like that.
It all
was
just
really,
seems
really
so
embarrassing.
fucking stupid.
It's really like he's having like a really embarrassing time so far. And
that
Donald
politics,
Trump,
like that politics, can even like that Twitter, can be a social media platform, can be where the president. Or the president hopeful, or the whoever can be where politics like and news is disseminated. I can't. And you have to like you shouldn't be able to like go on Twitter, like you shouldn't be able to post your Instagram stories some shit about like, you know, stop rioting. It seems like that seems like. It just seems like
it is like
it needs a more serious platform. Like, I don't know, what was it before? Like they take over the airwaves and all that, and
they would maybe go like, you know, on the radio or on TV and stuff. Yeah, like radio and TV.
Yeah, they break into broadcasting and be like,
important message.
Beep.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
President's breaking in with some shit.
We're gonna make you stop watching this.
Yes,
dog
and now
show.
It's like fucking new legislation was just tweeted out.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Not
some
everybody
guy just
has
got
a Twitter.
Fired. The ambassador to fucking
it's
Latvia
important shit.
Lost their job over Twitter. It is like very dystopic and kind of like horrific. But that's the whole thing is like everybody takes those spaces so seriously. Like if you go online, like, and especially like the conversations that happen about Twitter now are all either about how they were used by like either Democrats or Republicans to sway the election. Like that's like really in vogue right now is that Twitter was used to influence the election, which it's all bullshit. Like the idea that like Twitter is that influential over the way that people think and vote and stuff is like really like there's not much like actual substance to like back up that it can influence people on like such a grand scale.
Yeah, but people are so addicted to like any and every form of social media that you know, and so easily influenced now. Yeah. And I think, you know, fear and just like the uncertainty of what's happening because there's just no like one source you can count on for the truth because you can't trust that anything is the truth. Yeah. I don't know.
So specifically, I guess what I'm referring to is like the Russian trolls, like use Twitter to like
or something.
Yeah, Twitter and Facebook, really just any social media that they like had like these social media campaigns, which those exist. Like that's obviously real, and that they like use that to influence people to not vote for Hillary Clinton. And then the flip side is that there are a lot of conservatives that think that the Hunter Biden laptop story initially being like taken off of Twitter. It was less than 24 hours that it was taken off of Twitter. Yeah. But leading up to the 2020 election made it so that people didn't vote for
for Biden,
for that people like voted for Biden that maybe wouldn't have if they saw that story, is like those are like the two angles, and both of them are like really like when you actually get into like the details and like how many people are using Twitter every day, like the number of active daily like users that they can make revenue off of with ads is like 14 million at Twitter, and then like the number of people of those 14 million that are using Twitter to look at political stuff is like even less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like then you get into like, could this have influenced an election? And the numbers just don't back it up. But I think it can influence people's like outlook in the way that they think about stuff really easily.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I just don't think that it would influence the way that they have said to this point. But there are other ways that it affects people for sure. And people are really addicted to it.
They are.
It's really bad. And it's not a serious place to have a discussion. It's not good.
No.
Yeah.
But I think that people are also, you know, we always look for any excuse for why something didn't work out our way. Any excuse that takes the pressure off of us having to look at ourselves, you know?
Yeah, it's true. You can't. That's like the whole thing. That's exactly it, right? And like that was the whole frustration for a lot of people, I feel like, after 2016 is like, yeah, like this Russian troll campaign and like all this stuff is bad. Yeah. But it's not why Donald Trump won the election. No. You know what I mean? Like there are other reasons why. And the same thing with the like 2020. That's not why Joe Biden got elected. You know what I mean? They're like way more pertinent things. Yeah. But Ron DeSantis in the Republican primary, and he's going to lose.
I hope I haven't sounded like a know-it-all.
Not
I
at all.
don't know shit.
I feel like this is great.
I have feelings, but no like practical like back-upable knowledge.
No, I don't think that you sounded like a know-it-all, and I also feel like all the stuff you said was pretty smart too.
Oh, so all right,
there
good. Thanks. I just I hung out with this guy this week. I can't call him a friend because he's not. Yeah. And he's not like a fuck, but like I don't have any interest in him or anything. Yeah. But we hung out. We got coffee to catch up, and that's just because like I am bad at saying no. Dude. Like I have no interest in knowing
like
this person.
Saying no to plans that you don't want to be a part of.
I have no interest in catching up with this person, and he's such a fucking know-it-all, and he just like the whole time, just he told me how to grow mushrooms. Like I didn't ask or anything. Ugh. He just told me, and he told me in like very like all this detail, and he's using all these like terms and shit, and I just then then he fucking. Then he was telling me, am I taking up too much time? No. Okay. So then he's telling me this is so fucked up. He's telling me, he goes, do you do ketamine? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, I do. And he's this guy that always talks about his like mental health shit. He's always like blaming everything on this and a manic episode here and all. So I thought maybe he was like doing ketamine therapy. And so I was like, oh, I asked him, I was like, are you doing the ketamine therapy? He's like, no, I just do it for fun. He's like, I get it off the internet. From Amsterdam. And I'm like, okay. All right, dude. And by the way, he works in mental health with kids. Oh, good. And that's then perfect. And then he was like, how about DMT? And I'm like, no, not doing a lot of DMT these days. Not doing DMT.
Like I'm busy.
Well, then I
have shit going on, dude.
Like he's telling me that he does DMT and he makes it himself. And at first I'm like, he goes, you can make it. This is how I do it. So before he starts explaining, I'm like, is he can talk about like extracting it from your body somehow? Because I heard that DMT, like your body naturally makes it. And so
it's in a lot of plants and stuff too. Yeah.
No, this fucking guy starts telling me, he's like, there's like 7 ingredients or something. And he,
Oh no.
So he's using all these science terms, and then he's like, it's blah blah blah, it's blah blah, and then lie, and I'm like, lie, and he goes, yeah, drain cleaner, and I'm like, okay, and then he continues to tell me this, and he goes like, and then this science word, and then he's like, that's lighter fluid, and so I stopped him. I'm like, are you telling me that you think DMT is made of drain cleaner and lighter fluid?
That ain't right.
That's not DMT.
It's not right.
Like, and you can't, and that's how you're getting all these enlightening thought. That's not fucking okay. Like, that's not enlightenment.
He's like,
that's not,
I smoke the DMT that I make at home out of the lye and the lighter fluid, and then I go to work with the kids.
He snorts it, and it's crystals. He's like, because he's telling me about all this process, and then he's like, and then those crystals, you harvest the crystals, and that's the DMT. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. Like, you can't, I don't give a shit. Let's just say there's 7 ingredients. Let's say there's 7 ingredients, and let's say 2 of those ingredients are drain cleaner and lighter fluid. At that point, I don't think it matters what the other 5 ingredients are.
Not to me, it doesn't.
It could be fucking 5 different forms of, like, kale or something. Like, it could be the most fucking holistic, like, natural. It could be Centrum Multivites. I don't know. It could be anything holistic. But if drain cleaner and lighter fluid are in there, it is not okay. It's definitely not DMT.
It's bad.
Yeah, right? It's not DMT. Or maybe it's like, I don't know. It's a Florida drug is what it is. That's what it is.
Even if it is DMT, it's probably not DMT that you want to do.
It couldn't be. No.
You know what I mean?
Because you're not... Those 2 ingredients... I don't care what else they're mixed with. There's nothing that makes it okay.
Seriously, like...
Yeah.
Harsh chemicals destroy your body.
DMT, that's what you... And you're going to sit there and be fucking pretentious about anything? And you're going to tell me that you're doing DMT made of fucking lighter fluid and drain cleaner. I met him on Craigslist in like 2008. Back when you could like
how
well, okay, so back in like 2000, it wasn't even 2008, it couldn't have been, it was 2000. When was it? 2000, let me think, hold on. 5 6 2007. I want to say, okay, well, I was living in Westport, and I was like about a year out of my divorce, and like I've always been a thrill seeker, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was on Craigslist, and I was looking for like, I don't know, a hookup or whatever, and he was in town. He lived in California somewhere, and he was in town just looking for someone to smoke weed with, because he was in town like visiting family. So he's like, can someone please smoke me out? And so I was like, well, of course I can. So anyway, we smoke out and end up fucking, and then we tried to do like a long distance dating thing, which was just ridiculous. And then just for some reason, like, he'll get in contact with me every so often and be like, well, let's get together and catch up. And I just can't be like, I am busy forever. I'm too busy not getting together with you. Like, my schedule is full of not catching up, because we're not fucking friends. We're not fucking friends. And every time I catch up with you, it just is frustrating.
Yeah,
and
catching up
badly.
Gets weirder and weirder every year, dude.
One time catching up ended up with him trying, oh God. Oh, he was like, oh my God. He was trying to, why the fuck did this even happen? He came to a show back when I was doing burlesque. He came to a show and then came to my house afterwards. Somehow it got to him masturbating and trying to come in less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
I don't remember why. I don't believe I've ever challenged anyone to that in my life.
You weren't like, you can't come in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, but he made me time him. And I say he made me. He didn't make me do anything. I did it of my own volition, obviously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be like,
well, at that point, you're doing it for science. At that point, you don't want to stop the gears of science from going forward. I'm don't
trying
want to
contribute.
Yeah, you don't want to be the lady who like stopped science from happening.
No, yeah, I'm not trying to
Dude, women are such buzzkills. They never time you. See how
they don't
quick
understand
you can come
how
when you
scientific
jerk off.
discovery works. Women are dumb.
Well.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think we've made it to the end of the podcast, though.
Oh, we didn't watch I'm sorry.
I honestly felt like that was better.
That was better than
yeah.
Ron DeSantis thing.
Yeah. What do you have to plug coming up? Anything to plug?
Well, so I'm going to be marrying that guy next week. Everyone's invited to the ceremony.
Heard there's going to be free DMT.
Yeah.
Only 7 ingredients. They're all on the package.
Only 7 ingredients. How could it be bad? 7 ingredients. You can pronounce them all.
Hey, lighter fluid's organic, I heard.
Yeah, apparently.
I heard from this guy I know. He makes his own DMT.
Yeah. Is that something? Doesn't Joe Rogan do DMT?
Yeah.
Is that what? Because I just don't fuck with it.
It's like,
because I really don't want to go that far into my mind.
It's the thing that it's in your brain.
Yeah.
And it is what helps you dream. I think it has something to do with dreams, but then it also is like it like floods your body when you die. Like it is like released when you die.
So, but
like
that is not lighter fluid and drain cleaner.
Far as I know, it ain't.
There's no way it could be. There's just no way it could be.
There maybe could be because I'm not a scientist, and so I feel like saying there's absolutely no way. Like maybe there is a way to make it out of lighter fluid and lye, but it just doesn't seem like that would be the DMT you would want to do. You know what I mean? Like there's ways for sure to make it that don't involve that at all. So like, why would you do it that way?
So Joe Rogan probably doesn't do that. Like
he ain't doing
fucking Ozark DMT
not
shit.
Doing the
make your own.
Yeah, the stuff that this guy got online.
Yeah.
From
the
Amsterdam. It's like, dude, Amsterdam,
no, that's
Missouri.
The ketamine.
Oh,
that's the ketamine, and then he just makes the DMT himself.
That's a lot of drugs.
Out of liquid plumber and I don't know, emptying out of Zippo. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I just don't know. I don't know. It's just questioning everything. The world just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
It's not getting any better.
Nope.
Where are you going to be?
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. We were plugging where I'm going to not just more of me. Maybe I do need to do some DMT. Maybe it'll get me out on the right path. So Tuesday, June 6th, which is the day that this comes out, right?
Yes.
So tonight, I'll say tonight.
There you go.
I'm going to be at Hillsiders in Strawberry Hill, Kansas City, Kansas. Yeah,
Great
I do
place.
too. Yeah, that show we did there for the Strawberry Hill Comedy Call was fucking fun.
That was cool as hell.
That was super cool. That's a cool fucking bar. That back patio with that fire pit, that's a spot.
Especially they've like kind of zhuzhed it up a little bit too. Recently, because the time we were there, they had like a deck and stuff out there that wasn't there. They had like a stage.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've been there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to go back.
Yeah.
The guy that owns it has always been real nice to me, and
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like that spot.
Shout out to Hillsiders.
Yeah, hey Hillsiders, I'll see you tonight. And then the last Wednesday of the month, I do Big Naturals at Big Mood Natural Wine Shop.
Hell yeah.
It's a comedy show.
It wasn't called Big Naturals the first time.
It was called Big Fun. Big Fun at Big Mood. And then a friend of mine messaged me. He's like, why don't you call it Big Naturals? And I'm like, oh, because I didn't think about it. So now
I kept calling the wine bar itself Big Naturals Wine Bar on stage. I thought that was really funny. I was like, welcome to Big Naturals Wine Bar, everybody.
It's Big Mood Natural Wine. It's all there. It's all there.
And Big Naturals is a great name for a comedy show, too.
It is, right? Big Naturals at Big Mood.
Big Naturals, too, is like one of those terms that you only see in porn. Like, nobody's using that outside of porn.
No.
That's such a porn term. It's like ebony.
And
we just say black in the real world, Yeah.
Oh, Oh, First Fridays. First Fridays in the alley behind my building. Yeah, El Camino in the alleyway behind the Lady Volkas Art Center.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Every first Friday.
Friday was so much fun.
It was a great time.
And it's just going to get better.
Yeah, especially once we fuck up whoever parked that car there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw who it was.
Oh, nice.
I don't know the lady. I think she's new in the building that's not my building. She lives in like the lofts that are a couple doors down.
Oh.
They're like fancier, and I've never liked anyone that's lived there, but I saw her pull her car into my parking lot the next day, and I'm like, bitch,
you don't get it.
I'm gonna come tell you about where you need to park that car.
Yeah.
And then and I'm gonna work on I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna work on maybe getting a porta potty.
Ooh,
I know.
Shit. God damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for some ways to fund things like a porta potty and steady payment for the comics.
There you go.
That doesn't, vacillate depending on how much people want to pay for my trash cocktails.
Right.
And stolen beer. I'm going to work on getting beer donated so that I don't have to steal it from the Walmart neighborhood market to pay the comics. Even though I do enjoy that.
Stealing from Walmart?
I enjoy stealing from Walmart, then not selling, but selling it so that there's money to pay comics. I like that form of anarchy and rebellion. Is that the theme music? Am I being given
no,
the
that's
light?
the Ice Cream Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit. I'm rambling too long and we fucking missed the Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, we did miss the Ice Cream Man.
I have another show that's supposed to be starting. It'll be on a Wednesday. I thought it was going to start in May. Then I thought it was going to start in June. I just have been going through doing a lot of shit, so it's probably going to get put off till July. It's going to be at the Ship on a Wednesday. I'm not sure which Wednesday, but there'll be a monthly show at the Ship on Wednesdays. Yeah.
Nice.
And that one's going to be a weird one. That's going to be like a weird variety show.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what's your Instagram?
It's something. It's just something. Why do I have to do all the work?
There you go.
Why do I have to tell you?
Well, I'll definitely look it up and put it at the beginning,
it's too. At Susanna Lee Lucky Deluxe. It's SUSANNA Lee Lucky Deluxe with an E on the end. That's how you spell it normally, but a lot of people don't know that. So
yeah.
And then my website is bradpittdickpics.com. But it is. That's what it really is. And
thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm sorry.
No, I felt like this was a great time.
I think the world of you, Jake.
I think the world of you. Wow, look at that.
You're just wonderful. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. Just a good fucking person.
Some housekeeping. No word back yet on the comet, everybody. The listeners know what the comet is. I'll explain it later. Okay. And then, as always, send anything at all to jakeandoff.podcast@gmail.com. If there's something you need me to take a look at, send it there. Follow us on Instagram at jakeandoff.podcast. Other than that, I love you. Thank you for
What do people normally send in to you?
Nothing yet. No. It's preemptive. Stop asking questions. Thank you for listening. I love you. Bye.